When they came out of the forest, they were at the top of a small hill. Below them was a large house, a pond, and a large garden with big trees. "We just missed lunch, but there should be some food left." When they came closer, Maggie realized that everything about the house was a little scaled up. The windows were just a foot higher up than usual, the door was bigger, the steps up the porch was just a little too high to easily walk up. It all gave her the distinct feeling of being smaller than usual. Other Maggie opened the door and walked in, pulling a acutely self-conscious Maggie along. Inside was a kitchen with the same oversized tables and chairs. There was a giant of a woman putting plates and glasses in the sink. She must have been almost 7 feet tall and looked like she was in her early 50s. She had that air about her that grandmothers do, even though she was a little young for it. "Hey Mom, look who finally came to join us," other Maggie said. She turned to Maggie and whispered, "Her real name's Eliza, but she likes it when we call her Mom." "Maggie!" Eliza exclaimed and came over to give Maggie a hug. "We've been waiting for so long. Let me have a look at you." Eliza took Maggie's hand and led her out of the kitchen and down the hall to a bathroom. "You hop up here," she said and patted what looked like a piece of the kitchen counter. Maggie realized that it was a giant changing table and just stood there in front of it, dumbstruck. "Oh, come on now. You're a bit too big for me to lift you." Maggie looked around and saw a stool next to the changing table. She used it to clamber up onto the table and sat there with her feet dangling over the edge. "Lie back, dear," Eliza said as she grabbed Maggie's legs and slid her further back. Maggie lay back on the smooth, warm surface. "Are you still dry?" she asked. Maggie jumped. "Hey," she blurted out. "Of course I am." "Oh, come now. It's nothing I haven't seen 100 times before," she said. "Now lift your butt." Without thinking, Maggie did as she was told and Eliza slid a diaper under butt. She quickly pulled it up between her legs and taped the whole thing in place. The whole operation took only seconds. She helped Maggie sit up and Maggie looked down at the teddy bear print. "This is so weird." She reached down to touch it, somehow doubting that any of this was real. The plastic backing rustled softly when she did. "Now, let's see if this doesn't fit you." Eliza held up a light blue summer dress. She slipped it over Maggie's head and helped her with the sleeves before helping her down from the changing table. "Now you go outside and play with the others." Maggie walked back to the kitchen and out onto the porch, wondering what Eliza had meant by the others. But once she set foot outside, she heard excited voices from the other side of the house. She tiptoed to the corner and peeked around it. By the pond she could see 4 children playing. No, not children. They were adults dressed as children. Then it struck her, so was she. Maggie crept closer, ducking behind bushes until she was close enough to hear what they were talking about. It seemed the 3 of them, 2 girls and a boy, were having an argument about some kind of race in the brook that fed the pond. Eventually, they decided that the only way to settle it was another race. They picked up their crude wooden boats and ran upstream. "I can see you, you know." Maggie froze. "Oh, come on. That blue dress isn't exactly camouflage."